So you've watched hundreds of life abroad videos and you're wondering if you can move abroad too. The good news is, if you're thinking about it, you're already on the right track. But after supporting ambitious travelers for over 20 years of just to life abroad, here are the signs that will tell you if you are ready or not. And if you're just finding me, I'm Dr. Tia Key, former expat and international educator, using my experience to share cultural insights and travel strategies to help you prepare for life abroad before you leave. So let's start with the positives. Here are 5 signs that you're ready to move abroad. So, number one, you're comfortable with change and uncertainty. So, moving abroad is about adapting to everything new. So, can you handle last minute surprises, getting lost in a foreign city, trying to communicate without actually knowing the language? If you can figure these things out on the fly, then that's a great sign. Number two, you're financially prepared or have a realistic plan. You don't have to be rich to move abroad, but you do need a plan. So maybe you're already thinking about visa costs, emergency savings, and really trying to understand the cost of living in your new country. You're thinking about the areas that you can sacrifice to keep the costs down, and maybe you're even trying to figure out how to create multiple streams of income. Number three, you're open minded and culturally curious. One of the biggest mistakes people make when moving abroad is expecting that their new location will be just like home. If you're excited to embrace different customs and foods and languages without constantly comparing it to what you're used to, you're on the right track. However, it does not hurt to have a few familiars in your back pocket because homesickness is real. So, knowing who stocks your favorite Oreo brand or where the local Burger King is located is not a bad thing to know. Number four, you can handle being alone, at least in the beginning. Moving abroad can be extremely lonely, especially when you're first starting out. You're away from your family, your friends, and basically everything that's familiar. So, if you enjoy your own company or feel comfortable proactively putting yourself in social situations, you'll probably adjust much faster. And number five, you have a strong sense of why. You know why you want to move abroad. Maybe you're seeking career growth, adventure, a fresh start. Clear goals are significant motivators, especially when things get tough. Okay, so now the flip side. Here are the signs that you may not be ready to move abroad. Number one, you expect moving abroad to solve all of your problems. Moving abroad will not automatically fix your issues. In fact, it might intensify your problems because not only are you dealing with the issues that you were already dealing with, but now you're dealing with the adjustment of the move, adjustment to a new culture. There's so many other stressors on top of the ones you were already experiencing. Running away from something is never a good idea if you're thinking about moving abroad. And if that's your motivator, that's a red flag. Number two, you haven't done any research on visas, healthcare, or any legal requirements. If you're going through the trouble to relocate, make sure you're doing it correctly, safely, legally. Make sure you know what is required for long term stays and what is legally permitted before you buy your plane ticket. For example, are you certain the medications that you use are allowed in the country that you're visiting? Do you know what type of travel insurance you'll need? Do your research. Number three, you struggle with independence and problem solving. So, if small inconveniences stress you out, such as navigating public transportation or managing paperwork, you may find living abroad overwhelming. Because when you go abroad, you have yourself, your knowledge, and any of the research that you were able to collect. And while there are companies you can hire to help with a lot of the logistical aspects of it, there is a level of self reliance that is needed to be successful. Number four, you are not financially stable. Moving abroad with no savings or a backup plan can literally turn your dream into a nightmare. And while it's true that the cost of living in a lot of countries outside the United States is more affordable, those prices can add up. So it's so important for you to calculate how much money you will need to be successful. And there are websites you can use like livingcost.org, which is a great resource for a general comparison between the cost of living in cities and countries. And at the end of the day, it's always better to wait and prepare than to rush and struggle. And number five, you are not ready to move away from your support system because being away from your friends and family is tough. And if that thought scares you, you might not be ready to move abroad. A tip I always recommend is to be transparent about your feelings with your family because at the end of the day, these are the people that you are going to call whenever you need comfort. And there is nothing worse than having someone in your family talking about they told you so. So make sure you open up the conversation so that you and your family are in a better emotional position when the time comes. So after hearing these signs, where do you land? Are you ready or do you have a few more things to work on first? Either way, I hope you'll follow my channel to learn more about how to prepare for life abroad and let me know your biggest concern about moving abroad in the comments.